It was 98, 99 really when the system went up. Early days of the internet, we weren't calling it the internet bubble, it was the tech boom. And we saw that happening and saw crazy stuff happening and people approaching us with investment money. And we thought that the surest thing that we could do to fail would be to grow too fast. So that we made a commitment to our customers that we would never install a new system within 90 days of another. But it allowed us to grow in a managed way, in a measured way, so we didn't overcommit, and that's really something that we've stuck to.
We've never been product-based necessarily. We've always seen listed as a moving product. And at 12 years into that process, the innovation had been lost. We've experienced feature creep. Like we've built so many things into this initial platform where the initial innovation was graduating from paper to online. Well, that innovation was so stale 12 years in that now you see a new technology coming along that is mobile technology, even though it's in its infancy, is going to win in this business. So, companies like Solid Earth begin to investigate what is it going to take to innovate out of this, what was once just an online system, now to being both online and mobile and cloud technology and all those things that go along with it. That's what Spring represents, is the beginnings of that shift from where we were to where we're going.
We take relationships with our clients very seriously, and I think that relationship comes out in the product, because when there are things that the customers really need, we make it a priority to put that into the product. And we don't sit around and try and decide what needs to be in there and not take those people who are really using it into consideration.
I mean, change makes people nervous. So making that transition as easy as possible is one of the things that we're really focused on. Just like the redundancy, we're really focused on making sure that this thing works for the user that may not be technically savvy, but also will extend the one who is on the bleeding edge.
There's about 800 cities in the U.S. that have MLSs. We have 25 of them. Our goal is not to have 800. What we're looking for is 50 or 75 cities that are independent-minded, who want to have a white label catalog system, essentially, that will allow them, with their own business rules and practices, to promote their own brand in their own marketplace. And our job is to make sure that those are successful, and that behind the scenes, we continually extend our software to make sure that their products and services that they're putting out through their catalog look great. And we know who's looking at them and how often and what those metrics are. And that's really what Spring's about, retooling for a more socially connected set of networks.
Everyone has an online MLS system now. The agent will log in, username and password, and they will see proprietary data. Everything there is to know about a house. The reason why you have that username and password is because there's professional information built into the database. So there's one side of that equation. The other side is the consumer-facing end. Now, with the advent of Realtor.com and websites like Houston's Public Site, and more people are beginning to wake up to the fact that the consumer really is in charge of this transaction. So what Spring is doing is combining those two populations into one platform. The agent will still log in. The proprietary information is still going to be there, but it's a consumer-focused environment.
We're not taking the old system and trying to reinvent it with the new system. So we're throwing away all the ideas and the preconceived notions of what an MLS system is supposed to be, and trying to bring the agent and the consumer a little bit closer together so their experience is the same, so that when a consumer picks up and goes to the Spring site and they do a search, that the agent would pick up the Spring site on a tablet and do a search the exact same way. Now, the content they would see is going to change based on who they are, and that's where the technology comes in, that we'll know who you are so we know what to show you. But both sides are going to get a beautiful presentation, and the same thing, so that the agent can actually talk more knowledgeably to the consumer and say, well, I'm going to step you through, if you want to do a search, this is the way you do it. And he knows it just immediately, because this is the same way that he would use the search. So you don't have to learn two different interfaces. The professional doesn't have to know how to use the back-end system and then also know how to use the consumer front-end system.
It's a broad-based platform, and since the internet is changing everything, it's not just the agent or the broker or our clients that are looking at this stuff online anymore. It's actually the consumers that are out here. So the platform is not just for our client. The platform is actually for them to use to communicate to their clients. So we have the convergence of both of those coming in at us. So the platform has to be scalable. The platform has to be able to take those loads. It has to be able to stay up.
We talked to our user group about it in June and told them that we were going to be moving away from the legacy code base and networks and moving on to a unified platform. And they're really excited about it. So we had a real good feeling, I think, coming away from that our existing customers had seen what they had hoped to see and more, I think, and that some new customers, really leading brokers in some of the largest markets in the country, came by and looked at Spring and really got it and understood the social networking connectivity, the leanness of the product, the cross-platform functionality. They just got the concept, and that was really affirming too, I think, for our team.
There is no question that everyone has gone mobile, and this channel for MLS is only limited by how long it takes people to put this in their hands.
I think that if you boil the MLS down to its basics, it's all about getting the information to the realtor and the consumer in the easiest and the way that they want it. And I think that the way that people want their information now is different than it was 5 years ago, and especially 10 years ago, where they want it more interactive, they want it more graphical, they want to be able to touch and move and do these things. And I see that you guys are doing that right here on the iPad, which a lot of people aren't even supporting the iPad, let alone have it work across all the platforms.
I think the biggest thing is, agents aren't behind the desk all the time like they are, and they have to be mobile. They're out in the field, wanting to pull up data. They need it at their fingertip. So having something like this that's mobile, that you can provide the information to the customer, that's what it's all about.
I think we've been waiting a long time as an industry for MLS to catch up with the mobile technology, and it's huge.
I have mad respect for people that do this, because it is not easy to please all the people all the time and come out with new, fresh ideas and things like that. It's and have them work time and time again to be reliable and things like that. That's the important part that we see, and so and you guys make it look good.
It really kind of took off. We had people from all over the country walk in curious about what you're doing, and they were curious because there was a tablet and there was listings on a tablet, and you could do natural gestures that you're used to doing on the tablet. And so just talking with the different people around, outside of our network, but also in our network, actually getting to show our clients, hey, look, this is what we said we were going to go and do, and here's where we are. So it was a combination of excitement on both sides, watching the client actually realize that this is something tangible and something real, but then also watching people that we don't really know look at it and go, hey, that's kind of interesting. I'd like to talk to you more about that.
It was just so exciting to see something work, the MLS work on a tablet, and so that that you could take that out into the field and use it right there where you are and not have to wait till you come back to the office.
We actually like change, because change means that we're staying fresh. We're staying on top of the technology. We're not getting behind the technology and playing catch up. I think that's one of the things from a technical perspective, is just the methodology of how we actually do software is going to allow us to stay on top, stay in front.
The industry-changing websites that are out there, they didn't begin life to make money. These aren't the products of investors or people who got together, pooled their millions, and decided to do something profitable. What they did was solve a problem. Facebook is Facebook because it brought people together, and really that's what Spring represents to us. I think is we're really setting out to do something that we feel like is necessary in the industry, and I think what we're on to is really important.